All right, we're recording. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Girls, thank you for being here tonight. I am so excited because we have someone really, really special on our team call. But first, I just want to say that I appreciate you being here, showing up for your business. And we have lots of things in store to just help you elevate. Katie and I masterminded, I think it was last week. Stacy and I talk on the daily, obviously, to try to bring you great stuff. I hope that you can find that you can lean into the community and feel the same connection that we do. I think that's why we're lifers. And so I hope that that rubs off on you, because really, when you are doing life with women who want to elevate, who want to just continue to be better, regardless of the outcome, it's about the person you become in the journey, is what I've learned, that makes you stay, right? And today I was very, very present about finding the joy in all these little things. Like, I could have looked at it like, oh, the team called 9 o'clock, it's so late. But and there was a slight moment, I'm not gonna lie to you, there was a slight moment that I thought that, because Alex, was studying for his test, and then Adrian had clothes to put away and he wasn't putting it. So I had to repeat it like 3 times. And it's that moment where you get a little bit irritated, and then it's like you feel like, if these are things and you're like, oh, something else to do. But then I flipped my mind and I was like, no, 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 no. We are absolutely going to remind ourselves that this is the gift, being here, no matter how many things are on to-do list, because this is what we love. So I think that when we find the joy in every little mundane thing of our business, that's what keeps us coming back. So very, very happy to see Jackie, who just right now turned off her camera, but I know she's working. She works nights. I don't think Jackie has ever been on a team call. So look at her there, girl. I'm so happy that she's been a part of, like, just for a few minutes. And everyone else that's here, thank you, thank you. So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce Stacy, and then introduce Katie, and then Stace, if you want to just say a little something on about Katie. Katie is our guest speaker tonight, ladies. And I am so excited. I'm just gonna introduce her really quick. I am so excited because she is someone that Stacy and I randomly met a year ago. So Stacy, Katie, and I all earned a trip to the Beachbody headquarters exactly a year ago today, right? We reach these certain business goals, we earn the trip. Stacy and I go, and we end up running into it was another girl, but I end up running into Katie in the airport, and I think my luggage, right? Katie gave it away. Katie comes out of nowhere, instant connection, ladies. That's the beauty of Beachbody. And she's like, hey, are you girls going to NLC? And we're like, yeah. She's like, oh my God, great, me too. Instant connection. We get off the plane, we take a taxi together to totally share like the cost. And it was like an entire weekend that we were attached at the hip. It was heaven sent. It was an instant connection that, I don't know, it could have gone another way, but it didn't. So we run into Stacy there too that same night. We end up having dinner. We end up having sushi together. We end up being the whole weekend together. And here we are a year later, still collaborating. So I am excited that Katie is not only going to share her tips on how to work this business when you're busy, in pockets of time, and how to show up in every season, but I'm super excited that coincidentally today, Stacy, Katie, and I get to literally feel the beauty of coming together because of Beachbody. We're friends, and a year ago today, we were in LA together. What a blessing. And I hope that that is powerful enough for you to take away that this business gives you that. It gives you friendships, experiences, travel, income, and so much more. So I'm going to shut up. Stacy, would you like to say a couple of things regarding Katie?
I mean, I love her. And what I love is like, and if you've never had friends like that, you just like, instantly get and bond with, like, it was just natural. Like, I swear I could have been like this. Do you want to spend the night in my bed in the hotel room? Because we can do that. Like, we can do that. We're there. And she would have done that. We stayed up late that one night. She's like, oh, I'll pay for the food. I'm like, no. She's like, no, I got it. encouraged me to stay in that commercial, encouraged me, took pictures, helped me, like made me laugh. Just it was an instant friendship. And this business, this Beachbody tracker gave us Katie. So if you look at a tracker just to check it off, think about all the other beautiful things that you can get, because not only did we get her as a friend and as a lifer, she's here for you. And that is an extension of love. And we all do self-love. That's the growth of our business, right? So self-love and self-growth brought Susie and I together. Susie and I were diamonds, got to 1-star together, and then we meet Katie together and we get 2-star after that. It's like, it's magic, man. It's magic. So the thing about, it's a lot of us doing little things together. That's what it is. So Katie, I love you.
Hi, everybody. Katy Goree here. I am a 3-star diamond coach. I have been married for 11 years and my husband works oil field, so he's not here right now. He's gone 90% of the time, I could say. I have 2 little girls. They're 9 and 6. When I started this business, they were 1 and 4. So let me just start by saying I get like all seasons of life. We've gone through a lot of different seasons since I've been a coach. And so I know what it means to have to work your business in pockets. I know what it means to lead that busy lifestyle and to try to squeeze in Beachbody and this community and this team and your healthy lifestyle and all of those things into your day, right? Because we're all busy people. So I just want to start by saying I get it. When I did first start this business, for the first 2 years of my business, I was working a full-time corporate job. So I get the hustle. I get the constant, to and from with the commute. I had a long commute to and from work. Again, a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. So they were little at the time, my husband working away. So I'm just here to say that no matter how busy you are, if you really want it, you can make it happen. I have most of the women on my team work full-time jobs and do Beachbody too on the side. It's their side hustle. It's their part-time gig. It's the thing that helps pay for all the extras. It's the thing that helps them to financially be able to go on vacations and have that extra spending money and shopping money and all of those things that I know when you first start out, sometimes it's like, okay, I can see where Susie is and I can see where Stacy is. And I hear where you're saying you are. None of us started here. So I think that's important to remember. Like everyone starts day one when they log into their coach office where it says coach. All it says is coach, not emerald, not ruby, not diamond, not star diamond. Like we all start at the same place. So I think it's just important to remember that. And we're all busy and everyone has a different level of craziness and chaos and outside obligations and all of that going on. But I will say that in my first 2 years of my business, the thing that I had to do in order to build my business to the place where I could come home and do coaching as my gig is I really had to hustle really hard in the small pockets of time that I had. And I had to be very mindful of the time that I had in those pockets and not waste it on things that weren't like income producing activities and things that were really going to help me to love and serve others, because that's what we get to do as coaches, you guys. I know like Susie and Stacy were just saying, a lot of times we look at the tracker and we're like, it's just boxes, but it's not boxes. If y'all listen to the national wake up call today, that one invite has the potential to change somebody's entire life. And I felt that call on such a profound level because I have a coach on my team that when I actually reached out to her, she was suicidal and she was in a very, very bad negative space. And she is one of the diamond rock stars on my team now. And she's incredible. And when I reached out to her, I had invited her probably 5 or 6 times, you guys. And I need you to know that sometimes we hesitate to keep reaching out to people, but something was pulling me to invite her that day. I hadn't seen her, showing up on social media like I'd seen her showing up. And I just had this gut feeling that there was something more there, that she needed me to reach out to her and just extend the invite. And I voice memoed her that day and I was like, look, I am here to tell you I want to do this with you. I want to link arms with you. I think you are amazing. I know that you would be a huge asset to my community. I think you are an incredible human being. I love seeing you with your 2 little boys. if this is not for you, please just say it's not for you. And I promise I will walk away and I will not keep bugging you. But there's something on my heart that I need to reach out to you because I think you're amazing and I want to do this with you. And that one invite, she has told her story over and over again, was the one thing that she needed to hear in order to make that shift and make that change, because she was in such a low place in her life. And she'd gone through a lot of really personal, traumatic experiences, and that invite saved her life. So when I think of what this business can do for other people, I think of that coach on my team, that her whole world has changed because of this. And I feel like we all have different reasons for coming to this, but we have to remember not to keep someone else's future captive in our mouth by not opening our mouth and at least inviting them. So getting back to pockets of time, if I am completely honest with you guys, I only got a lunch break while I was at work. And I had 2 small little pockets of time outside of that when I would be like running mail, to and from places, or, stepping away from my desk where I could actually do like check-ins and things like that, or like restroom breaks. If I had a restroom break, you guys, I would sit in the restroom for 5 minutes and challenge myself to invite 5 people while I was sitting in the restroom, because I was on such a time crunch that I had to really be mindful of what I was doing in the small windows of time, because I wanted to utilize the little bit of time that I had while I was at home to really work on the conversations I was having. But invites, once you do them often enough, they become something that's so easy to do that you really can send those invites really quickly when you get used to doing it and you get comfortable in the way that you're inviting. I think the thing with inviting is it always has to be genuine and authentic to you. And when it is, it's not a complicated process. People feel that genuineness. They feel that authenticity whenever you're reaching out in a genuine way and you truly care and you want to help them and you tell them that. So I saved the majority of my time for the conversations that I was having, because I really wanted to invest my time and energy into getting to know the people that I was talking to and finding out what they needed most and how I could love them and how I could serve them well. So I would do the things that I could do in the pockets of time. So like stories, quick little, invites, making sure that I had done my post for the day. I also would sit down on Sunday night and plan out what I was going to do for the week. And that helped a ton. When I would have time off on the weekends, you guys, I would get like 5 or 6 shirts and I would take different photos that I could use for during the week so that I wouldn't have to take my pictures like in the morning in a rush, like right after my workout, trying to get my 2 kids ready for daycare and trying to run out the door to work. So I would do it when I would have a little bit more time on like Saturday or Sunday. I would take pictures for the week and use those. I think the biggest thing with anything and with any business is just being consistent. So while the tracker is there to guide you and help you and showing you the right things that you should be doing in your business, you have to find a way that feels really authentic to you. And you have to find those small pockets of time that you can make it happen. Now, obviously, I'm in a different place now, that I'm doing this full time. But when I first started, I was not. And I always urge my coaches, because like I said, most of them still work their big girl jobs. I always urge them, sit down and figure out when you have time. When is your time? Is it in the morning? If it is, then make that time non-negotiable. I wake up at 4 a.m. still, you guys. I don't have to anymore, but I do, because I believe in modeling the behavior that I want my coaches to do. And if they're ever going to wake up at 4 or 5 or 6 a.m., I have to be doing that. I don't have to do it anymore, but I choose to do it because this business, like Stacey was just saying, is an opportunity of a lifetime. And I know that. And I know that it's going to take so much. I have big goals to still bring my husband home and allow him at least the freedom to get to choose which jobs he's going to take, so that he's not having to work away all the time and not having to choose whichever jobs, come available and wherever they're at the time. He's been in Brazil. He's been in Louisiana. I live in Texas. He's been all over the United States. And so when I say I want him home, I want more time with him. This business has brought me home. It's allowed me to be the wife and mom that I want to be, but now I want to offer that same opportunity to my husband. So you're never going to get to a place where you're going to have officially arrived. You guys, like, that's complacency at its finest. And I don't feel like any of us that are here are complacent or we wouldn't be here, right? We're here because we want to link arms, because we want to level up, because we want to become better, because we truly have it in our heart to love and serve other people and do them well, help them to achieve their goals, help them to do all of those things. So what I was getting at with all of that was with my coaches, one thing that we have instated, and every team does it differently, but I've had a lot of the coaches on my team offer up times that they can hop in and do power hours, and we'll do live sessions. Some people hop in for 15 minutes, some people hop in for 30 minutes. I have some coaches on my team that have young kids and they're like nap time hustle, and they're stay-at-home moms. So again, it's totally different for everyone, but I think we need to recognize where those times of day work for us and then make it non-negotiable to sit down and actually work your business in those pockets of time and be mindful about the activities that you're doing in that time. So, inviting is one of those things that you can sit down and do in that pocket of time, connecting, adding new people to your network. There's a lot of other things that I do outside of those pockets of time that sometimes I'll just do while I'm waiting in the car pickup line to pick up my kiddos. I'll send out happy birthday messages to people, just to love on them and wish them a happy birthday. That's one of the easiest ways to connect with new people, you guys. On Facebook, if you pull up the birthdays, you can wish all of your friends a happy birthday. Ask them what their birthday plans are. Tell them that, you hope and pray that they have an awesome day. It can be any number of things, you guys. You get to choose how you're going to go about these things and do them. But those are some things that really work well for us. And I also challenge all of the women on my team, anytime they're going to work, we have a link that we have that is, we call it Tribe Time. Anytime they're going to work, pop in Tribe Time and post in the team page or in our group messenger thread, pop in there and just say, hey, I'm about to work. Does anyone want to hop in with me? Because there's oftentimes someone else that would love to hop in there with you, even if it's just for 15 minutes or 30 minutes. You're not alone in working your business. We don't have to do this alone. We may work all over the place and be all over the US and Canada and the UK, but we have this amazing technology called Zoom, if you haven't heard of it, and we get to hop on together and we can do these things live. And you know what that builds? That builds the team culture that allows you to connect with other coaches on your team that are at the same place in their business that you are. That allows you the opportunity to link up and, find a success partner and find someone else that you can do this with so that you're never alone. Because I think that's one of the most common misconceptions is we're in this alone, because we all live all over and we all have busy schedules, but we're not. And more oftentimes than not, my girls will often link up and I'll see them in there together working. Later, I'll see their boomerangs and stuff. And I'm like, yes, like it makes my heart so happy to see them in there working together. So making sure that you're just spending your time wisely, focusing on those income producing activities that are actually going to move your business forward. It can be so easy to get caught up in wanting to create content and wanting to, scroll social media and wanting to, just talk to your friends all day when you're online, but making sure that the time that you do have is well spent. I also use this tracker and I can share it with Susie I don't know if you guys use something like this, but I got it on Etsy. It was like 20 bucks. It's amazing. It has everything in here, you guys, that allows you to really just track what you're doing in your business. For me, this has been super helpful. I'm not usually a pen to paper girl, but I vowed coming into January, I'm not organized. I'm type B all the way. Susie has the same one. This has helped me tremendously. I know that Beachbody has a tracker and I know that there's all different kinds of trackers, but I love that this allows me to have my affirmations and gratitude in it. I love that this allows me to set my priorities. It gives you a week look ahead so you can really write down the important things that you don't want to miss for the week. And then it allows you to do all the important things like inviting and connecting. But what this does for me more so than anything else is it puts names and people, actual humans, with the activities, because I think that's important. Sometimes it's really easy to get caught up in, oh, I need to check the boxes, but these are human beings that you're talking to here. I want to be able to write notes next to their name and say, so-and-so just had a surgery. Like, remember to check in with her and, a couple of days or a week and see how she's doing. The cool part about this is you can go forward and you can write notes for what you want to remember to do like a week from from today. And that helps me too, because again, I am not an organized person, but in attempting to become more organized, it's allowing me to really like find my groove and stay super consistent and on top of like my follow-ups and all of my invites and all of my connections that I'm making, which are the most important income producing activities that you can do in your business. And y'all have amazing leaders here, so I'm sure you've heard them say that before, but making sure that you're just using your time wisely, I think, is the most important thing. Making sure that you're not taking that time away from your family, making sure that they're still the number one priority, because they are. The whole reason we're all doing this is to better our own lives, better the lives of our family, and help other people in need that need this just as much as we do, because we all need this. And I think it's important to keep your why at the forefront of your mind when you are working your business, because when your why is firm and you know exactly why you're showing up each and every day, it's going to make you want to do the things. And I know Stacy kind of said that earlier, like, you have to like have that reason for wanting to show up to your business each and every day. And when you have that why, it becomes something that you're blessed to get to do. Susie said that earlier. It's a blessing. It's not a burden. This is not a burden. This is a huge blessing, getting to do this each and every day, because this is impacting lives to come. And I want to touch on one other thing. And this is something that recently came up. I had somebody reach out to me that I've never met before. They found me on social media. They reached out to me, and they were a cousin of a girl that was in my challenge group a long time ago. And she reached out and she was like, so-and-so, told me about you. And I had to come on here and, find you for myself, because she said that, you helped her so much. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's just the impact that you have that you never know you're having. You're impacting so many lives that you may never even know about. The spouses of the women that are joining your community, their children, their future grandchildren. Like, this thing is so much bigger than just us. And I think when we think a little bit bigger and we realize the impact that we can have on so many others, it becomes limitless. Like, every single thing that you have on your heart that you want to do in your business is totally possible. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. It truly is. So finding those pockets of time, leaning into the live power hours that you guys do have, offering to host one yourself and tag your friends and invite them to come join you on them. We are not alone. We're so much better together, and we're so blessed to get to do this thing together. So lean into that and find that time to do those most important things. Don't put those things off. If you've never heard of the term eat that frog first. If you have something that you struggle with in your business, I highly challenge you to do that thing first before you do anything else. And if there's one more piece of advice I can give you before I hand it back over to Susie and Stacy, is if you're not doing personal development, you need to be doing it. And I was that person, you guys, for the longest time. It was like, I don't need that self-help. I don't need that. I'm good. Like, I'm over here. I got this. I'm doing my workouts and finding my groove over here. Personal development changed my life. And it's the one thing that I resisted for the longest time. And when I started implementing it and reading it and implementing the things that I was learning, everything changed for me. I saw my business take off. I saw my marriage get better. I saw my patience with my kids get better, and my ability to actually juggle all the things and manage all of the plates that are spinning around me all the time, because we're all busy again, and we can do this. And I believe in you guys. You are here for a reason. We are all here for a reason. We're all on the same mission to change as many lives as we possibly can while we have this time here on this earth. And I think when we use that and we pay this gift forward, all the magic's going to happen. It really, really is. So I hope that was helpful. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Yes, Katie, thank you so much for giving us, a rundown of what it was that your life looked like when you started this business. And you gave us a bunch of tips, not only personal development, how to lean in when you had your breaks in your bathroom, to just, challenge yourself to invite a few people. I get it. You have to work this business in little pockets of time that you have. I'd love to ask you, when you first started, working this business, what was it that you were doing? What was your full-time job?
Okay, so I was working full-time in oil and gas as a lead document controller for Chevron. And so when I started this business, I was doing that. I have a degree in finance, so it has nothing to do with Beachbody. This was never my plan or my intention, you guys. I loved what I was doing for a long time, but I worked long hours and I had a really long commute to and from work. And I basically dropped my kids off from the time the daycare opened and they were there until the daycare closed. So for me, I wasn't getting any time with them during the week. It was all, work. And then a lot of times I had to bring work home with me. So I'd be working in the evenings from my laptop after I would get them to bed. So I just realized at that point in time, I was missing out on everything with my kids. For me, my mom was a stay-at-home mom growing up. And so I had that person that was there and I knew what I wanted for my kids. And I was killing myself trying to do it all. I really was, especially with my spouse never being home, is basically being a single mom. And, that's the life that we've chosen. And so I completely have embraced that. But when I saw that there was Beachbody and realized that there was an opportunity to, be able to leave that position and be able to have that time with my kids, there was nothing that was going to stop me. So at that point in time, it was just figuring out how to make it happen. I also want to mention that my coach that I joined with when I first started is no longer a coach. And my coach that has adopted me, I don't know if y'all know Allie Upham, that's my upline sponsor. She's incredible, but she's not my coach. She's not the coach that signed me up. She's not the coach that brought me on. My coach is still technically a coach, but she walked away from the business about 4 years ago. And so I was left in a position as a diamond coach to basically figure out how to grow as a leader and become a leader on my own. And so I think when you're in that situation where you just have to figure it out, there's nothing that's going to stop you. Everything is figure outable. If y'all heard, I don't know if y'all heard Rachel Hollis speak at Summit a couple of years ago, but she has a high school education. She had no background in running a business. And she basically said, this is the age of the internet, you guys. Everything is figure outable. There's a book called Everything's Figure Outable, by the way. And if you've not read it, I highly suggest it. It's a great book. But she talks a lot about how, if you really want it, if there's a will, there's a way. There's always a way. If it's something that's on your heart, you can figure it out. There's the internet, there are books, there are libraries, there are classes, there are mentors. Like there is literally every single piece of the puzzle out there. You just have to be willing to go out there, to ask for that help, to reach out, to make connections, to talk to people. And I had the opportunity at one point to speak with Allie. And I basically poured my heart out to her. And I was like, look, I want this. I'm ready to run. You're incredible. She's 15-star diamond. She's in the Millionaires Club. She's, right up there along with Christina and Becky. They're all buddies. So she's incredible. And she, came to this business from being homeless. Her story is absolutely incredible. She had nothing and she built this business from the ground up. And I told her whenever I had the opportunity to speak with her, I was like, I will never take much of your time, but I just would love to be plugged into whatever you have so that I can learn and grow as a leader. And she did. And I will tell you, for the first about year of being mentored by her, I was just plugged into things. I would never message her because I didn't want to have to waste her time or ask her for anything. So I figured it out on my own. And I think that's one area that you grow faster on your own journey in your business and as a leader when you figure it out on your own, because while you have amazing upline support, they're also very busy. And so I always respected that. Allie is one of my best friends now. I see her multiple times a year. I always am in Orlando visiting her. I've stayed at her house multiple times. Like she is incredible, but it was also one of those things where I wanted to earn the right to sit at her table. And I vowed, when I first started this, that I was going to do just that. And so I think it's an important thing to remember too, that you have everything in your wheelhouse that you need. We're all very different and we all have such different stories and there's so much power in all of our stories. And, I love Stacy's story particularly. It always hits me like right up in the feels, but every time I hear her story, it hits me because it's like, you go through those struggles, and I'll be completely honest, I had one of the hardest years of my life. I came up against a lot of adversity last year, but it's in those moments when you're facing those big struggles. Sorry guys, this is real mom life right here. This is hubby working away. They're supposed to be going to bed right now and they're not. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Yes, one more minute, please.
Yay!
Okay, shh, go.
Okay.
Sorry about that. That's real life though. That's just the reality of it. But when you come up against those adversities, those life lessons, those become your story. Those things become the things that you help people through. So the things that you're going through and experiencing yourself, you're not going through them for nothing. You are going through those things so that you can turn around and help people later. And maybe you've gone through some things in your past that you're going to be able to turn around and help. Maybe you're in it right now and you're trudging through the quicksand and you're in the fight of your life. Or maybe there are going to be things that are going to happen in your future. Remember, that those things happen. And while they're so hard, I look at Stacy's story and I'm like, that's the beauty of her story, because through her trials, she grew her strength and she is able to now help other people through that. And she's become an advocate for suicide, and suicide awareness. And it's such a beautiful thing. So I think we all have those stories too. Remember the power of your story. I know sometimes we look at our story and we're like, it's not that important. But I can promise you, all the other working moms out there that are struggling, trying to juggle it all and missing, their children growing up, they connect to my story. So I share that story over and over and over again because those people connect to it. So there's so much power always in your story, even if you think it's so small, even if you're like, I'm a stay-at-home mom and it's so boring, or all I do is go to work all the time. It's so boring. Nobody wants to see that. People want to see it. It's the weirdest thing, but people want to see it. Like, it's like reality TV. You sharing those things is like people watching you on reality TV, and people love it. So keep sharing your story because there are people that are watching it and you're going to connect with your people. Sorry, that was a lot.
No, it's fine. You're giving them information that, everyone needs at this moment, because whether you're a new coach or a veteran coach, you're just tackling all those little things to keep in mind. I want to go back for a minute. We have here coaches that are new coaches, and I want them to see that you've done this, going back again, pockets of time, which was the topic today, right? So when I get coaches that say, but Susie, I just don't have time. Take me like logistically through a day when you were working full time, like quickly, like when did you wake up? When did you eat your breakfast? When did you work out? When did you spend time with your girls? When did you make dinner? So that they too can see that they have a life just like you did, and that they too can do it, because this business is usually built in pockets of time.
It is. It totally is. So when I was working my full-time job, I would wake up at 5 a.m. I would work out first thing, and I would shower, and I would get up and get ready for work before I would wake up my kids. So that was always really important to me. My biggest thing when I started this journey is I didn't want my physical journey or my coaching journey to take away time from my kids, because I was already working all the time. So the last thing I wanted to do was take away that time from them. So for me, the evenings was not an option. After I got home from work, I wasn't even getting home from work till 6 p.m. or picking them up and getting home at 6 p.m. And then they went to bed at 8. So I didn't want those 2 hours a day that I got with them to be affected by my things. So I would wake up early. I would do my workout. I would get ready for work. I would wake them up around 6:30, get them ready, get them off to daycare by 7-ish, and then get to work. And I had to commute about 30-45 minutes to work. So I would commute to work. And then my day started at work. I would get the small breaks that I was talking about earlier, where I would do some invites, restroom breaks, while I was waiting for my coffee in the break room, just having conversations, connecting with people, sending, like I said, those birthday messages, and I've done those forever. I've done those since I started my business. So you get to choose what those things look like, but all the things that are on the tracker would happen in those small pockets. Then when I would get my lunch break, I would go heat up my food. I never went out to lunch on my lunch break. I always heated up my food in the break room, took it back to my desk, sat at my desk, ate my lunch. And for 30, 45 minutes, I would just have conversations, work my tracker. I would mentor my coaches. I would even schedule calls with new coaches or getting started right calls or whatever I could. I always told them, this is my pocket of time. You have between 12 and 1. We got 30 minutes. And I would have calls with my new coaches back then. Anything that I could fit into that pocket of time that I had. And then again, I would get like 15 minutes here and there in the afternoon. I would get off work, 5:30, go get my kids. We would get home by 6. Those 2 hours that I was home were totally theirs. When my husband was home, I wouldn't work my business in the evening. He's not home very much though. So he's always, worked crazy schedules. And so if he is home, sometimes it's for a few days or a week, at most 2 weeks at a time. So I wouldn't work in the evenings. But when he was gone and when he is gone, I work evenings, and I still work evenings after he's gone. So whatever it is that I didn't get done from the day is done in the evening. And then that's it. I mean, but I built this business working an hour a day when I first started, and it was just broken up. And there was that 30, 45 minutes at lunch, and there was 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there. And then if I had extra time in the evenings, then I would, do more. But for the most part, it was done that way. On the weekends, on Sundays and Saturdays after my kiddos would go to bed, I would do a little bit more and, creating content. And like I said, taking those pictures on the weekends to have them for the week to kind of set myself up so that I wouldn't have to be doing that during the week. Little things like that. But I didn't like having to spend a lot of time working on the weekends because, again, that's my only time with my kids. So during nap time and things like that, I would, but it was only during those times that I would work on the weekends.
Okay. And then when you would work in the evenings, would you do it after you put your girls down?
Oh yeah.
So once they were asleep, then you would work your business a little bit more. But in the beginning, it was just like about an hour total building the business. Okay. Now, next question. When did this business bring you home full time?
I came home part-time. I came home part-time 2.5 years into the business. I was also working another part-time job when I first came home. And I worked that part-time job for about an hour. So I was like 3.5 years in when I started coaching full-time from home. And I gave up my part-time job doing some accounting work from home. So I was doing both for it was a while. It was about a year and a half.
So after a year and a half, this business brought you home.
Yeah, it brought me home.
Are you listening to that, girls? Because if you work your butt off in those pockets of time, this business can give you the income to come home if that's a goal that you have. Because there's many people that are like, girl, I do not want to come home. I love my job. One of my success partners, Dixie, she's a tech for babies. Like she's the one that does a sonogram, and she can tell you if you're having a boy or a girl. So she loves her job. She will never leave that job, but she still comes home like Katie, does dinner, attends her kids, and then works this business as a side gig because she wants the supplemental income, not because she wants to come home.
Right.
So I hope that some of you
like that too on my team. I have a lot of girls like that. And I think that's the beauty of this business though, is you get to make this what you want this to be. For me, I wanted it to be my full-time thing because I wanted to be home with my babies, but not everybody wants that. And I think that's okay to know too. Whatever that is for you, it can be anything that you want it to be. And the possibilities and the sky's the limit, not even the sky's the limit, beyond that's the limit because there are no caps on what we can earn. I don't know if you guys know that, but there are no caps on what we can earn. You can literally have multiple business centers go 15-star and collect that 15-star bonus on all business centers. Like the sky is not even the limit. So you got to dream a little bit bigger with that. But
I love it. We got to dream big. Thank you, Katie. Stace, do you have any questions for her before we pass it on to the girls?
I do have one question. So when you have a brand new coach and they've shared with you, I think one of the most important things to work this business is finding out what this means for you, right? And I think that's also important when you do your wellness journey. Besides, I just want to be healthy and happy. Well, great, that's surface level and it ain't going to cut it, right? And Beachbody, I think you take yourself deeper and we go deeper because we're hungry for that. When you know that a coach comes in and you've had that one-on-one and you know their why, and we've gotten to that place, right? We know it, but they're not showing up. What do you do to help them to start showing up in their business? Because that's where I find the struggle, is when I have coaches who want to or are already doing that and they're afraid to show up. And what would you offer? Because that's where I want to grow as a leader and help them and serve them. So if I were your brand new coach, and you know my story because you already do, but I haven't shown up to a team call and I'm not working the tracker and you're letting me know all the things, but I'm still not there and I'm kind of ghosting, what are you going to do for me?
I typically reach out to my coaches that are kind of, I call it riding a struggle bus, and just not, they're kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They're tiptoeing around it, because I think when you first become a coach, it's one of those things that you haven't quite seen what all is possible. You haven't quite seen what all this business can do for you. So it's hard to want to go all in, right? It's hard to want to invest the time and the energy in something that you might not see the fruits of your labor right away. And I think in this society that we live in, so many people, they want to see that reward returned quickly. And so what I always remind my girls, and this is something that I have started doing with my newer coaches, is who's that one person that you want to bring on this journey with you? Who is that one person that you want to do this with? Because I think it's really important to remember that we're more accountable a lot of times to other people than we even are to ourselves. So who's that one person that you want to bring on your wellness journey with you? Get them that early win, because I think that's important in order to make them feel like they're actually a coach. Because I don't think you really feel like you're a coach until you actually have a client or a coach that's doing it with you. And also reminding them that this is their journey and they get to choose how they're going to show up. But I'm here as their leader to show them who they can be and to instill that belief in them right out of the gates and show them, like, this is possible. I believe in you. I won't force you to do any of these things, but I am here to tell you, I've already gone through the learning curve. You don't have to. I'm here as that person that's been there and done that. I get to make your learning curve shorter. Yes, you're still going to fail. Yes, you will fail forward. Yes, you're going to experience things that are going to be hard, but I'm also here to show you that you don't have to go through the same mistakes I did. And I tell them all the time, you got to make your own mistakes. Like, you don't have to make the same ones I did. You get to make brand new mistakes that are all you. But this gets really fun whenever you start leaning in, when you start connecting with the team, when you start showing up to calls, because if you're not doing those things, you feel disconnected from the team. And I think it's really important to be a part of that and to feel the power of that. It's like the power of live events. It's the power of being with your team. It's the power of not being alone in this. And so having them have that one person that joins them, I think is really important, because then they feel like they're a coach and they get that early win, they get their first paycheck, and it becomes exciting at that point. They've gotten a taste of what's possible. But until you kind of get to that place and you've helped that first person and you have that belief, it's easier to step away. It's easier to not lean in and feel a little disconnected from the team and not want to show up on team calls. So I think my biggest piece of advice is show up for the team calls, even if you're scared, even if you feel a little bit awkward about it, or maybe you're not quite sure just yet. Lean into those things, trust in the process, and just remember that this is a business about planting seeds, and those seeds have to be planted and watered before you're ever going to see the fruits of your labor. That's why this is a business. This is not a quick fix. It's just like Beachbody with your journey. Like, it's not a quick fix. How many quick fixes do you see out there on the market? So many promises of you're going to lose 30 pounds in 30 days and, XYZ. This is not that. This business is not that either. We're not here to, give you this business model that's going to get you rich by next month. Like, that's not the reality of it. This is a get rich slow. But I can promise you your income will continue to grow and build even in the tough seasons. And like I shared, last year was one of the hardest years of my personal life that I have been through so many things. My business still doubled in income last year, you guys. And that, like, insert Beachbody income disclaimer, that's what this business can do for you once you get to that point where you have established and built your business up enough. It will continue working for you. I never stopped showing up. Don't get it twisted. I never stopped showing up last year. planner. I never stopped doing the things. I never stopped doing my tracker, but I was in the hardest season of my life where I had to disconnect from social media. I had a lot of crazy stuff going on, and legally I had to disconnect from social media. It wasn't even a personal choice. So I just want you guys to know, like, even in that season where I was going through some huge struggles, I never took my foot off the gas, and I was still doing all the things that I could do even behind the scenes. And that's why my business doubled. It didn't just automatically do it on its own. But when you show up and you work your business, you guys, there are days that I will put in 8-10 hours in my business straight up. I love what I do. I get excited. I get passionate about it. I'm excited to show up and work every day. There are days that I show up and, check into my community for the day, and that's it. So you get to choose when and how you work. You don't always have to work long days. On the weekends when my kids are off school, I spend the day with them at the park. I hang out with them. I get to do those things. Those are, that's a privilege that I've earned over the last 5 years of building this business. So you have to know that that freedom is there. It totally exists, and you get to choose when and how you work your business, but it's totally possible. And coming from someone that started by working an hour a day in very small pockets of time with very young children, it is totally possible to build this to a place where you're able to really choose what that's going to look like for you moving forward. So
I love it, Katie. Thank you so much. I want to go ahead and open it up to the girls because we have a few minutes left. I know it's late here on the East Coast. Is there anything that you want to ask? Any comments? Anything at all? Go ahead and unmute yourself and feel free to.
I want to ask another question.
I
Sharona, you want to go first, babe?
well, I was interested in that book or the planner thing that she held up for a second. Can you show me what that is and exactly what is it? Is it a customer tracking book, or exactly what was that?
So Susie has it too, and she can post the link for you because she has it. You can get it on Etsy, but it's really awesome, you guys.
Thank you.
I take all kinds of notes and stuff in it, but it's a planner, and it comes with, quarterly goals, which I love because it has you break it all out. You write down your purpose, your why statement. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? There's an area for notes. It helps you to plan your social media. There's a weekly that guides you on like what to do for your week. And then there's also the day-to-day tracker, and you have one of these for every day. So it's a 3-month at a time tracker, but it's absolutely amazing. And I will tell you guys, it has changed my business, even as, a Star Diamond coach, getting organized and figuring out how to do, the power of being more organized and consistent. Because if I ever want my coaches to do this, you guys, I have to model that behavior. I have to show them what that looks like. And I can't just be all over the place and then teach them, because this business, it has to be duplicatable. This is duplicatable. This is easy enough that you could do this, Sharona, and you could turn around and teach your coach to do it,
Yeah, I hit diamond in like June or July, but it comes just as fast as it goes. But I don't know. You've really made me think about some stuff tonight, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Love
and
it
does. And just know that it takes time to stabilize any rank. It takes time, and you just have to trust in the process. And this is another thing I heard a long time ago, just touching on that real quick, is the people that got you here will not get you there. So the people that got you to Diamond, Sharona, are not going to be the people probably that will get you to Star Diamond. Some of them will probably be lifers. I have some that are lifers, but not every single coach that joins your team is always going to stick around. Some of them are going to find that maybe it's not for them, or maybe seasons of life. I've had coaches that have left that have come back later. And it's like, sometimes the timing is just off. Like, they want it, but they're not quite in a season of life where they can give it their all. So just know that happens, and it's normal. You are not alone in that. Don't feel like you are, because you're not. My coaches struggle with the same thing, and finding that place where you get stabilized is everything. So don't stop trying for that. The only other piece of advice I have for that is new blood. You have to be bringing on new blood every single month. And if you're not bringing on new blood, you're going to find that you're going to stay kind of stuck. That new blood reinvigorates your communities. That new blood brings excitement to your team. So always having that new blood is so important, on your team and within your communities. If I could give you any piece of advice, is just remember the power of those 3 people, of at least bringing on those 3 people every month. I know Beachbody calls it Success Club. I call it changing lives, like change 3 lives at least every month. And when you do that, your business will grow. And I am not that person either, you guys, that hits huge Success Club numbers. I think last month I hit 12, sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 8. I've hit 22 a couple of times. Like, I'm not that person that hits huge numbers. So just to share that, I know sometimes we see other coaches and it's like SC 50, SC 100, and you're like, what the heck? You know, I'm not that person. You can build a business without bringing on 50 new people every month. So that's not to say don't do it if you can. Like, if it's in your wheelhouse and that's like one of your strong suits, go for it. Like, that's income, that's lives change, that's important. But just don't feel like a failure if you're not that person that brings on that many new people, because we are all busy people. And I think it's okay to know that, you know, just helping at least 3 people every month, like, that's going to keep your business moving forward. You can build a full-time income off of helping 3 people a month. Because when I first started, I was hitting 3 to 5 every month. And so it was never big numbers. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Katie, yes. Go ahead. Yes, Stacey.
Okay, my next question, because you actually kind of spoke on that. So when you have coaches that start and then they need to do what they need to do, and now they're back.
Yep.
But it's the same behavior. What are you doing to help them? I have people who I know have the potential, and I just say it out because I want everybody to grow. So I'm going to be bold and blunt here. I have people who have come back to me in the last month, but I don't hear from them. I don't know if they're working their trackers. They say they can't come on team calls. I'm just going to be bold here and blunt because I want them to be successful, because I'm tired of my own phony baloney. So I want to rock it with them. What will you do, or what do you do if I'm your coach and I've left and I come back, but I'm still doing the same thing? But you know I want it. What would you do to help me?
I love my team. My team is like my
Me
heart,
too.
and I know that. I think that's a hard thing with leadership, is you have to remember that there's that fine line between being someone's friend and being their coach and giving it to them straight, and loving them enough to tell them the truth about their business. Because we can be friends all day long. Even if my coaches leave coaching and Beachbody, we will still be friends outside of that. But as their coach, it's my duty and my obligation to give it to them straight and to tell them that they are sabotaging themselves and their business. And I'm speaking to this. I have a coach who hit Star Diamond last year. And she was an Emerald coach last week, and she was Star Diamond last year. So she basically got pregnant and completely like fell off the face of the earth and lost her life, and was going through a lot of hard things in her life that I personally understand. She's come back and she's ready to work and she wants to do the things, and her team is not communicating with her. They no longer want to communicate with her because they kind of got left high and dry for 6 months straight. And so I can speak to the fact of the conversations I've had to have with her, and reminding her that she's going to have to model that behavior again. She's going to have to lead by example if she wants them showing up again, because at this point right now, they don't trust her because she completely, disappeared. And we all understood what was going on because life happens, but also we all go through hard things, and nobody is, free from that. We're all going to experience different obstacles and struggles and life challenges. And so we have to learn how to show up through all seasons and not just, go away. And like I was saying, how last year I was going through some really hard stuff. I never disappeared though. I never left my team. And if anything, our team culture is so strong now because I stayed by them. So I would have the conversation with you, Stacey, if you were my coach, and I would say, look, you came to me last month and you said you want to do this. I'm here to help you do this, but you've got to show me that you've got skin in the game. You got to start showing up on team calls. You've got to, send me your tracker. And, that was something that I feel like we learned at NLC last year was if someone comes to you and tells you they want it, say, okay, go fill out this tracker for a week and send it to me every day. And when you do that, then let's talk. Let's have a one-on-one. Let's set up a one-on-one. Let's talk next steps. And at that point, we'll figure out what next steps are. But until they prove to you that they really have the skin in the game and that they're really there and ready to work, you got to work with the willing. This is something Allie told me early on, and I guess it just stuck with me, but she told me, she was like, I'm here and happy to plug you into everything, but I will not drag you. I am not that coach that will drag anybody. And since that moment in time, I have just said the same thing. I want to do this with you. I love you. I care about you. I think you're incredible. I have so much mad belief in you. I know what you're capable of, and I know the lives that you could change through sharing your journey and sharing your story. But I am not here to force you to do it. If you want to do this, you do it. I have my business to run, and this is your business to run. I'm here. I'll guide you. I'll mentor you. I'll show you exactly what you need to do and how I can help you. But that is all that I can do, because I tell them, I cannot work your business for you. I cannot fill out your tracker for you. I cannot connect with people for you. I can't have conversations for you. I love you, but that's on you. And that's on all of us. And I think that's the responsibility we take on as we become business owners, as we become coaches, and it's a beautiful thing to be responsible for. It's not a negative thing. It's an honor to be able to, walk alongside people on their health and fitness journey and walk through the struggles with them. So, I think that there's a point where you have to give it to people straight, and you have to love them enough to tell them the hard things.
I think that's what kind of scares me a little. No, I don't want to say it scares me. I think I get locked in the fear for a moment because I want to say the right thing for it to click. But sometimes I don't know what it is that's going to help them click. And I know that Kim Fitzpatrick's always says, my job is to help you figure out what this means for you. And she said that, I was like, that clicked for me as a leader. I was like, I get it, because it took the responsibility off of me, because nobody drives me to Wegmans. Nobody drives me to sit in my office. I'm very connected, and you don't have to persuade me. I don't know how I got there, but I think I got there just through consistency over time, and tired of my own bullshit, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So I want I love every one of my coaches, and they know that. But I think sometimes I don't know what to say when they want it. And I'm just like, and it's the people that don't show. It's the people that don't work their trackers. And it saddens me. So I'm just going to be open and honest in the call, because I feel like if I'm going to be open and honest, then my coaches on this call are going to learn to be open and honest and be successful in their business. So it even makes me nervous talking about it, right now.
I think it's something that needs to be talked about, though. And just, I always tell people, especially the coaches on my team, like, I'm telling you this with love, because I love you. I'm telling you this. Like, I don't want you holding yourself back, because I know what's possible. Like, you deserve every ounce of this. Like, and I even have explained to her, like, do you not realize like how much money you're flushing down the toilet every week? And for her specifically, finances are a big thing. Like, they are on a very tight one-income household, and she's pregnant now. So it's like, you now more than ever have the why. You've just got to put in, the daily activities. So, and consistency, like you said, Stacy, like, you've got to show up consistently every day. And I don't work my tracker, you guys, on the weekends. That's me. That's why I hustle so hard during the week. If my kids are going to be in school, which in Texas here, we're in school. I don't know if everywhere's like that, but we're face-to-face. So if my kids are going to be in school, they've been in school since like, October. If they're going to be in school, then I'm going to hustle while they're gone. That way, still, when they're home, like, I create that time and space to be with them and to get to be present, because that's the whole reason I started this to begin with.
Right. Me too.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Love it, girls. Okay. It's almost 10 o'clock. We have one more minute, but I do want to make sure that we're answering everyone's questions. Does anyone else want to unmute and ask a question? Could be to anyone. Don't be shy, girls. We're here to help. Everybody good?
Such thing as a stupid question. Any questions are good.
I have no question. I just want to say thank you, Katie, for your time. This is the second time that I've heard you speak within the last year, and you're always kind of push us forward. You encourage us, and you just, like, it clicks. It makes sense what you say, and you kind of give it to us hard, but it's sometimes stuff that we need to hear.
Absolutely. And the thing is that as a leader, that's her job. Like, Isabel's a brand new coach. And I'm going to just share is because, she's here and I know I can. She got injured, so she couldn't work out. And I just gave it to her the way I wasn't going to be like, it's okay. Well, then don't worry. Don't work your business. I was just like, Isabel, focus on nutrition, babe. Like, oh my gosh, you can help so many people with nutrition. And that's what she's doing. She got the 3-day refresh. She's going to start it tomorrow. As she shares her journey, she could really help people. And she's a brand new coach.
Right.
So we've got to be, responsible enough to be able to say, listen, you said you wanted to be a coach and do this. We're here to help you, but you've got to do the things that we're recommending for you to see success. So that's basically what it is. So thank you, Mel, for sharing your comment. Any last questions or comments? Everyone good? All right. So Katie, I want to just say thank you so much for being a part of our night, for spending your time with us, and for all the value that you gave. Girls, I hope that you take away, what she offered, which is working your business in pockets of time and showing up through every season. And again, if there was language in tonight's call that you felt a little bit like, whoa, I didn't get that, I don't know what star diamond is or a rank, don't worry, just reach out to your coach. We will get there. This is just, typical coach language. But the goal of today was for you to see how even if you work full time, have kids and are a wife, you can still build this business in pockets of time. Everyone is busy, and that's what we really wanted you to take away. I know for a fact that everyone is overloaded with things on their to-do list, but if you really want it, you'll prioritize it. So I hope that's this call helped you see that. All right, so have a great night. I will post the recording as soon as I get it. Katie, love you so much. Can't wait to talk to you soon. Stace, everyone, have a great night. Love you all, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, ladies.
Everybody.
Bye.